my god.
Oh my god.
Shalom, Barakatah. This is High Priest Kahalal of the Law, also known as Calvin Israel, back with another video lesson, giving all praises, honor, power, glory, dominion, majesty, reverence, blessings, worship, love, and admiration to the Most High, Yahweh, and Yahweh only. Double honors, triple honors to Yahweh and Yahweh only. No Bahashim. Understand that. Okay, now the title of today's video lesson is Israel is the suffering servant. Isaiah 53 is not about JC. Okay? Shalom. Shalom, Miss Paka. How y'all doing out there? I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are feeling great as I am. All praises be to the Most High God, Yahweh. Yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. I'm starting to feel like the old Calvin Israel. All praises be to the Most High God, Yahweh. Yeah. Okay, now, on our previous channel, we covered this issue, Isaiah 53. And then we covered Isaiah 53 again on this current channel. But when we covered Isaiah 53 on this channel, we were targeting Zion Lex. We were rebuking Zion Lex. We were correcting Zion Lex. We were attacking Zion Lex. Because after 25 years of being Torah Tanakh only, Yahweh only, Zion Lex decided to backslide and to become a Christian after 25 years. And that pissed a lot of us off in this Yahweh only community. Right? Right. But in this video lesson, breaking down Isaiah 53, letting everyone know who Isaiah 53 is truly about, we are not attacking anyone. We are not targeting anyone. We are not trying to offend anyone. We just want to correct everyone and edify everybody. That's it. Right? And when we covered Isaiah 53, when we were targeting Zion Lex, the production didn't come out very clear because our recording equipment wasn't as good as it is now. So in that video lesson, we hear some cracking and some static. Okay, but this video lesson, I want it to be very clear. I want it to be civilized. I want it to be clean, and I want it to be very edifying. Okay, so we're not targeting anyone. But what also inspired me to do this video lesson and to do it sooner was I saw a debate between Vocab Malone, a Christian, and Judah Nazareth, someone who is Yahweh only, right? And I thought that Judah Nazareth was going to slam dunk this, but he didn't. Right? He did not lose the debate, but he did not win the debate. He could have won the debate, but there's corruption in his house, and it's corrupting his doctrine. It's making his doctrine flawed. Okay, trying to crochet in the Gentiles is making his doctrine flawed, being too friendly. Okay, now listen. He lost. Well, he didn't lose. He brought it to a draw. He brought the debate to a draw. Because Judah Nazareth said that Israel is suffering and being punished for the sins of all nations. That's not biblical. Because How is Israel suffering for all nations? And it's the nations that are afflicting Israel. And yet, Israel is paying for their sins by their suffering? And then again, the scripture says, after the Israelites' suffering, the Most High God is going to use the Israelites to punish the world for their sins? Okay, so no. That brought you to a draw. Okay. And that goes like vice versa. How can JC die for the sins of the world and then come back and kill you for the same sins that he died for? Right? But Vocab could have won the debate. And not saying that he could have won with the truth. Because just because you win a debate, it doesn't mean necessarily that you have the truth. It could mean that the person you were debating, he just didn't know how to defend the truth very well. And with your lies, manipulation, and deceit, you were able to pull one over on him. That's all that means. And he could have won like that. But his doctrine is very flawed too. Vocab Malone, your doctrine is super flawed. Like, you're saying JC is God. If JC is God, how can God be his own suffering servant? Okay. Now, I'm not trying to offend anybody, so I'm not going to call anyone stupid. Okay. I'm just going to go along with the presentation. Okay. Even though they might deserve to be called that, I'm not going to do it. Okay. I just want it to be edifying, and I want the truth to come out. Okay. And I'm not going to be long-winded with this intro because we got a lot to bring out, and I feel good. Yes. And I hope y'all feel good too. Okay. All right. Now, jumping right off into this, let's prove Isaiah 53 is not about JC. Israel is the suffering servant in Isaiah 53. And it's Israel, the 1/3 of Israel, that is suffering and being punished for the sins of 2/3 of Israel, not all nations. Okay? The suffering servant is 1/3 of Israel, the righteous. And we're going through all kind of suffering and pain and punishments because of the 2/3 of Israel, the wicked of Israel. Okay? That's what's going on in Isaiah 53. And we're going to be proving that and proving that Isaiah 53 is about Israel being the suffering servant, and Isaiah 53 is not about JC. All right. And another thing, Judith Nazareth, you have to work on your delivery, on your presentation. Okay. Because it's really annoying when someone is saying, after every 2 words and after every sentence. I really don't like that. Like, you don't know your own doctrine or what? But I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying, hey, you need to work on that, especially when you're trying to debate, right? All right. Isaiah 53, verse 1. Wait, hold on. I got another thing to say. I just got one more thing to say before I forget. And I run through the whole presentation and I forget to say it. Judith Nazareth. Bro, why do you got to be so friendly, bro? Like, you can be respectful without being just so friendly. When you be extremely friending it kind of come off as deriding, bro. It comes off as deriding, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Starting a podcast with Vocab Malone? Don't you guys believe in two different doctrines? Two different gods? Don't you believe in the living God? He believes in a fictional character God? How are you guys going to have a podcast? Are you going to debate every day on the podcast? Trying to be too friendly, man. Like, it's embarrassing. Okay. But let me say this. I don't have nothing against Judith Nazareth. Right? And I liked the fact that Judith Nazareth, he held to the Edomites being Caucasians, so-called white people. Salute to Judith Nazareth for that. Okay. Now let's jump right off into this. Isaiah 53, verse 1. Who has believed our report? Who? Who has believed our report? So first, when it comes on, the first sentence, it's asking a question. It says, who has believed our report? That's plural. Okay? Our report. No, who has believed his report in the gospel? It don't say that. It says, who has believed our report? Okay? Who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? Okay. Christians say JC is the arm of Yahweh. So how can the arm be revealed to the arm? Huh? Hold on, let's go and grab that the arm was revealed to Israel. Yeah, the arm was revealed to Israel. And we're going to go and get that. We're going to go to Psalms 44, verse 3. Psalms 44, verse 3. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but your right hand and your arm and the light of your countenance, because thou hast a favor unto them. So when we got the land in our possession, that's when the arm of the Lord was revealed to us. Also, when we were brought out of the land of Egypt, that's when the arm of the Lord was revealed to us. The arm of the Lord represents his power. When they say right hand, right arm, it is a figure of speech because most people are right-handed, right? So their power is in their right arm, their right hand, right? That's all it's saying. His arm represents his power. His right hand represents his power. Very good power that he's good at. Right? On the right hand side. When you go to Acts though, let's look at this over here. Let's go to Acts chapter 5, verse 30. Acts chapter 5, verse 30. The God of our fathers raised up JC, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Him has God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. Him has God exalted with his right hand. Okay, so if JC is the right hand of the Lord, how is he being exalted by the right hand of the Lord? What? God exalts JC with JC? Huh? Yeah, believing in JC just doesn't make any sense. Because the New Testament, it just doesn't make any sense. So, right? Let's go back to Isaiah 53 and 1. Isaiah 53 and 1. Who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? Okay. Who has believed our report? Everyone believed JC. Let's go and get that. Yeah. Everyone believed JC. It was just kind of like a small group, like the priesthood, that didn't really kind of believe him. Well, they did, but they wanted to take him out because they envied him. We're going to get off. We're going to get off into all of that. All right, so let's go to John 12 and 42. John 12, verse 42. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. Right? The chief rulers believed. The chief rulers believed. Everyone believed JC's report. Let's go to John 7 and 31. John 7, verse 31. And many of the people believed on him and said, when Christ cometh, will he do more miracles than these which this man has done? So the people believed him. The chief rulers believed him. The people believed him. Let's see who else believed him. Everyone believed his report. Go to John 11 and 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which JC did, believed on him. So the chief rulers believed, the people believed, many Jews believed. Whoa. Let's see who else believed. Let's go to John. John 10 and 41. John chapter 10, verse 41. And many resorted unto him and said, John did no miracles, but all things that John spake of this man were true. Oh, man. Yeah. Many believed on him. Okay. Well, let's see. Who believed the Israelites? Let's see who believed the Israelites. Let's go to 1 Kings 22, verse 8. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire. By whom we may inquire of Yahweh. But I hate him, for he does not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. Right? Yeah. Who has believed our report? And then we can go down in the same chapter to 26. Let's go to 26. And the king of Israel said, take Micaiah and carry him back unto Amon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son. Right? They didn't believe his report. And say, thus says the king, put this fellow in the prison and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I come in peace. Didn't believe his report, because if the king did believe his report, he wouldn't have went to war and died. Okay. No one believes Israel's report. Okay. Let's go over here. Jeremiah 35:15. Just like they don't believe our reports today. We tell them we're Israelites. They don't believe that. We tell them that Isaiah 53 is about us. They don't believe that. Who has believed our report? Jeremiah 35, verse 15. I have sent also unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, return ye now every man from his evil way, and amend your doings, and go not after other gods to serve them. And ye shall dwell in the land which I have given to you and to your fathers. But ye have not inclined your ear, nor hearkened unto me, who have believed our report. Now he said he sent his servants the prophets, but who has believed our report? Right? It says, but ye have not inclined your ear, nor hearkened unto me, because they don't believe our report. Let's go to Jeremiah 7, verse 25. Yeah, I told y'all we was going to get in depth. We're going to go deep. Yeah, we YOZ grave diggers, man. We get deep with these scriptures, man. Yeah, we'll dig your grave. We'll dig your grave and leave the light on for you. Nightlight crew. Yeah, we'll leave the light on for you. Jeremiah 7, verse 25. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily, rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearkened not unto me, nor inclined their ear, but hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Okay. Who has believed our report? No one. Hey, look at that. Killing it. And ain't even got to verse 2 yet in Isaiah 53. So, Isaiah 53, verse 2. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. No beauty that we should desire him. Okay. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant. So this tender plant is Israel. And we're growing up before Yahweh. For he shall grow up before him, Yahweh, as a tender plant. That's not JC. JC is not the tender plant. And as a root out of a dry ground. Okay. So let's go and prove that Israel is the tender plant. Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel. And we're going to go to chapter 16. Yeah, Ezekiel chapter 16. We'll start at verse 1. Okay. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, thus says Yahweh, God unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. And as for thy nativity, in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. None I pitied you to do any of these unto you, to have compassion upon you, but thou was cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person in the day thou was born. Ooh wee. Right? That dry ground, the field, the open field. That's that dry ground where we were tossed to. Okay. Let's go to this tender plant. That's Isaiah. We're going to go to Isaiah 60, verse 21. Who's this tender plant? Thy people also shall be all righteous. This is Isaiah 60, verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. So, who is the branch of his planting? Thy people. Yeah, the people. Okay. And then let's go to 1 Chronicles. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 17:9. Also, I will ordain a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, and they shall dwell in their place, and shall be moved no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness waste them any more, as at the beginning. So, who's being planted? Yeah. Who's the plant? The tender plant? Israel. Yeah, the Jews. What you thought it was? Israel is the plant. Oh, no? Okay. Well, let's go here. You don't believe? You still don't believe? Let's go to Isaiah 5:7. Slam dunking. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 7. For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. Oh, there you have it right there. And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry. All right, so we want to read this again from the top. And we want to see that. We're going to see Israel is the tender plant. Isaiah 5:7. For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. No. JC is his pleasant plant. His son JC. It don't say JC. It says men, plural. Men of Judah, his pleasant plant. Right? Why are you bucking up against the truth? Right? Isaiah 53 verse 2 again. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant. Who's his pleasant plant? Yeah, the men of Judah. Okay. and as a root out of a dry ground. He has no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Right? So we just read Ezekiel 16, 1 through 5, and we see that Israel was not desired. Right? Israel was not desired. Let's get that again. Ezekiel 16. We're going to start at verse 1. Isaiah 16, verse 1. Salakia. Ezekiel 16, verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, Thus says Yahweh God unto Jerusalem, Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. And as for thy nativity in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple you. Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. This is the nation not desired. None I pitied thee to do any of these unto you, to have compassion unto you, but thou wast cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person in the day that thou was born. Just tossed out, man. Like, that's Israel right there for you, man. Like, right. Now let's go to here, man. This is Isaiah 53. Go back to Isaiah 53, verse 2. Right. Bear with me. Isaiah 53, verse 2. Right. It says, For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He has no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. So we just saw that Israel was not desired. All right. And we're going to go grab that again. Let's go to Zephaniah 2:1. Right. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourself together, O ye. Gather together, O nation not desired. Back here at Isaiah 53 and 2, it says, There is no beauty that we should desire him. Okay. This is Isaiah speaking in third person. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Right? So Isaiah is speaking in the third person of 2/3 of Israel. Okay? 2/3 of Israel is the wicked of Israel, right? We're at Isaiah 53. And let's see. Was JC despised and rejected? Because it says right here, Isaiah 53 and 3. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with griefs. All right, so let's see. Is JC despised and rejected? Let's go and see. Is this about JC in the New Testament? Is he the suffering servant? Was he despised? Let's go and see. we got records, right? We got documents, right? We got the story, a fairy tale or what have you. John 6 verse 2, and a great multitude followed him because they saw his miracles, which he did on them that were diseased. Wait a minute. A great multitude followed him? Wait, let's go back to Isaiah 53. What do it say? He is despised and rejected of men. Men following you is not rejecting you. If you are followed by a great multitude, that is not you being rejected of men. That's you being highly accepted of men. Okay? Well, he was not despised and rejected of men. Let's further prove this. Let's go to John. And we're going to go to 6 and 15, just a few verses down. John 6 verse 15. When JC therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. What? They were going to force him to be their king. How is that being rejected of men? You are being highly accepted of men. Like, and so much that they are trying to force you to be their king. Okay? Let's go here. Is JC rejected and despised? Let's go to Matthew 14. I'll start at verse 13. See, in order to be able to be a good Yahweh only Moreh, to be a good Tanakh teacher, you have to know the Tanakh very well. And you have to know the New Testament very well too. If you want to save souls and get them up out of this New Testament, you got to know it very well, right? And we know it very well over here, yeah. Matthew 14:13. When JC heard of it, he departed thence by ship into a desert place apart. And when the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is major. So it's like JC, he took a boat. Like if JC was in the Bay Area, he took a boat from Oakland to San Francisco. And the people, they had to walk around and go all the way around to the Bay Bridge and cross the bridge and walk the bridge. Bro, they walked a whole city just to follow him. And you're trying to say that JC was rejected and despised by men? What? No way. He took a shortcut and they walked the long way to follow him. All right. And JC went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. Someone's healing your sick. How can you reject them and despise them? Come on, man. The whole gospel story does not even fit Isaiah 53, man. Come on, man. Like the life of JC, it doesn't fit it. So let's go and see Was Israel rejected and despised of men? We're going to go right back here. Right? Zephaniah 2:1. Show you again. Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourself together. Yeah, gather yourself together, O nation not desired. Yeah, we were despised and rejected of men. Okay. Let's go to Zechariah. Zechariah 12, verse 3. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces. Here's the kicker. Though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. So who's despised and rejected by the whole earth? You guessed it. The Israelites. Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Okay. So it don't get more despised than that if the whole world is gathered together against you. Okay. So let's go back to Isaiah 53. We're going to start at verse 4. Okay. Surely he has bore our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. Okay. So that was us, the righteous, 1/3 of Israel. Surely he has bore our griefs. Ooh-wee. And carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. He was beat. He was hurt. He was afflicted. Right? Not killed. He was smitten of God, hurt, beaten by God. Not killed. Okay? When you go off into the Hebrew, that's smitten right there in the Hebrew lexicon. It means to hurt, not to kill. Okay? So we're going to go to and see where that happened to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 4, and we're going to start at verse 4. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 4. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it, thou shalt bear their iniquity. For I have laid upon you the years of their iniquity according to the number of the days, 390 days. So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah. 40 days I have appointed you, each day for a year. Right? This is a representation of the 1/3 of Israel suffering because of the 2/3 wicked Israelites. Right? The righteous 1/3 suffering because of what the wicked 2/3 did, right? Because the whole nation has to go into captivity, even though we did nothing wrong. We were keeping the laws, but the whole nation had to go into captivity. So we are suffering because of them. I'm not trying to call anyone an idiot. Okay. I didn't. I didn't say it. Okay. All right. Now, back to Isaiah 53. Start at 4. Surely he has bore our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. Okay. But was JC stricken, smitten, and afflicted of God? Or did he put himself through that? Let's go and get it. Did God afflict him? Or did he lay down his own life? Let's go to John 10, verse 17. John chapter 10, verse 17. Therefore, does my Father love me? Because I laid down my life that I might take it again. No man take it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. That's a lie, because no one can die for your sins. The will and the commandment of the Father is Deuteronomy 24 and 16. No one can die for your sins. So, he's up here saying that he is laying down his own life and he has the power to do it. Okay. So, according to people like Vocab Malone, who think that God is his own suffering servant, God here is beating himself. Right? Surely he has bore our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God. God is afflicting himself. According to Vocab Malone. Okay. I couldn't hold that one in, man. God is beating himself. Wait. Oh man, this is crazy. Like Christians, hey, let's keep it clean. Isaiah 53 verse 5. Okay. Isaiah 53 verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions. Yes, because the 1/3 of Israel, we were keeping the commandments, doing what we were supposed to do. But 2/3, majority of our nation wasn't. Majority rules, so we went into captivity. It says, Isaiah speaking in third person of the 2/3 Israelites, but he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Okay. So it says the chastisement of our peace was upon him. But JC did not come to bring peace. So how can that be about him? Let's go to Matthew 10:34. Matthew 10:34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So how can he be our peace? The chastisement of our peace, when he did not come to bring peace. Okay, that's simple to understand. Very simple to understand. Okay. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And Yahweh has laid on him the iniquity of us all. All we, like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. Let's see. Israel. Psalms 44. Israel like sheep. Psalms 44:11. Thou hast given us like sheep, appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou hast given us like sheep. And down here to verse 22 in the same chapter. Okay. Psalms 44:22. Yeah, for your sake are we killed. All the day long we are counted as sheep for the slaughter. As sheep for the slaughter. Okay. Isaiah 53:6. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And Yahweh has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed. And he was afflicted. Yet he opened not his mouth. This is Isaiah 53 verse 7. He was oppressed. And he was afflicted. Yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb. So he openeth not his mouth. So let's go where Israel did not open their mouth. Let's go and see where Israel did not open their mouth during their affliction. Okay. And we're going to go to Ezekiel 24 and we're going to start at verse 15. Ezekiel chapter 24, verse 15. Also, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, I take away from you the desire of your eyes with a stroke. Yet neither shalt thou mourn nor weep, neither shall thou tears run down. All right, don't open your mouth. Don't weep. Forbear to cry. Make no mourning. Open your mouth. Don't open your mouth. For the dead, bind the tire of thine head upon thee, and put on thy shoes upon thy feet, and cover not thy lips, and eat not the bread of men that mourn, right? So I spake unto the people in the morning, and at evening my wife died. And I did in the morning as I was commanded. Peace be upon Ezekiel. All praises be to the Most High God, Yahweh, for his righteous servant Ezekiel. For his mighty servant Ezekiel. Reading on. And the people said unto me, Wilt thou not tell us what these things are to us, that thou dost so? Then I answered them, The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Speak unto the house of Israel. Thus says Yahweh God, Behold, I will profane my sanctuary, the excellency of your strength, the desire of your eyes, and that which your soul pitieth. and your sons and your daughters whom ye have left shall fall by the sword. And ye shall do as I have done. Ye shall not cover your lips, nor eat the bread of men. And your tire shall be upon your heads, and your shoes upon your feet. Ye shall not mourn nor weep, but ye shall pine away for your iniquities, and mourn one toward one another. And mourn one toward another. Right? Silently. Right? So, keep your turbans on your head and your shoes on your feet, and don't weep. So Israel did not open their mouth when we were afflicted. We were commanded not to open our mouth. Okay, now we're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 26. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 26. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. Right? So, let's go to Ezekiel. Salakia, let's go to Isaiah 53, verse 7. It says right here in Ezekiel chapter 3 and 26, it says, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou should be dumb. Right? So you can't open your mouth. To be dumb is to be like deaf. Right? Let's go back to Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53, 7. Right? He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb. Right? Didn't it say that Ezekiel was made dumb? So he openeth not his mouth, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb. And then here at Ezekiel 3 and 26, it says, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb. Okay. Now, we go to Isaiah 53 again. Salakia. Isaiah 53, verse 7. Okay, now we're going to go to verse 8. Wait, let's break that down some more. Okay, so we see that Israel was afflicted and Israel did not open their mouth. And it fits this perfectly. Okay, so now let's go and see that JC opened his mouth. Okay, let's go. If this is about JC, then we shouldn't be seeing JC opening his mouth. Okay, so Matthew 27, and we're going to start at verse 46. Matthew 27, verse 46. And about the 9th hour, JC cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? So God, according to vocab Malone, God is crying to himself, God, asking God himself, why did God himself forsake himself. Whoa. Okay, but what we wanted to get here is that JC opened his mouth, right? And not, right? And not honorably. He opened his mouth in doubt. Like, right? This is how we know that the fairy tale gospel is fake. Because this is supposed to be a God in human flesh that knows about the beginning. He can remember in the flesh him being in the beginning with God. He can remember the heavens where he comes from. And then all the way up into your purpose. You start doubting and you opening your mouth, right? You opening your mouth with doubt. But you know where you come from and you know where you're going. But you're doubting? Saying God has forsaken you? This is fake. You need to repent and come up out of this fairy tale, this falsehood of the New Testament. Okay, let's go to John 19, verse 26. John 19, verse 26. Let's see, did JC open his mouth again? John 19, verse 26. When JC therefore saw his mother and the disciples standing by whom he loved, he saith, he opened his mouth. He's being afflicted here, carrying his cross and everything. He saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then saith he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. He's opening his mouth while being afflicted. Isaiah 53 is not about him. Okay, now let's go to see where Blabbermouth is blabbering and opening his mouth some more during his affliction. Luke 23, verse 43. And JC said unto him, Verily I say unto you, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. Dang, man, you're talking a lot. So you know where you're going. You know you're going to paradise. And you talking about, God, why have you forsaken me? Man, you can't even fool little kids with this, man. Like, well, maybe a little kid, but that's about it. Yeah, let's go to Isaiah 53. So we see that he did open his mouth, right? Isaiah 53, we're going to start at 8. Isaiah 53 is not about him. It's about Israel. It's matching perfect with Israel, and it's not matching at all with JC. Okay. Isaiah 53, verse 8. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? Can't declare his generation because it's every generation. But we can declare JC's generation, right? Wasn't it the first century? About the year 30 CE, right? $30 AD? Yeah, 30 AD. They say 30 AD, after death. So, JC was living. He was 30 years living after his death. Like, whatever. Isaiah 53, verse 8. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? You can't. It's Israel. It's every generation. For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. Stricken means beaten, not killed. But eventually we all got to be cut off out of the land of the living, right? And this is twofold. It could mean just like cut off from enjoying life because we're slaves, or it could be like cut off too soon, like we died early. Okay. Cut off. So we see that Israel feels that way, that we've been cut off. Let's go. I feel that way. Right? When I see these white people, young like myself, with all of this white privilege and better opportunities, I'd be like, man, I'm cut off, man. I'm cut off from the enjoyments and the privileges of this life. Right? Psalms 31 and 22. Psalms 31 verse 22. For I said in my haste, I am cut off from before thy eyes. Nevertheless, thou heardest the voice of my supplication when I cried unto you. So Israel, we feel like we're cut off, and we're cut off out of the land of the living. Cut off from our parts, from a good life, right? I be seeing, and he did say that he was going to kind of like make us jealous with a foolish nation. So I be seeing white people, couples and stuff in love and stuff, holding hands and laughing and smiling, and they're all on social media, you know what I'm saying? Going on trips and stuff. And I'm like, having a family and stuff. And I'm like, wow, man. Like, that looks sweet right there, man. But it's like, under these curses, we don't get none of that. We get our wives' eyes being evil towards us. And we marry them and they lie with another man. Because that's the curse. And that's what's been happening to us. Ezekiel 37:11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Cut off out of the land of the living. So that's how the Israelites feel. Right? Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus says Yahweh God, Behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Resurrection. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. This is resurrection to paradise, because we say we're cut off out of the land of the living. We're cut off from our parts. We're cut off from a good life. He's resurrecting us to paradise to have a good life. Okay. And shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land on the second earth, in paradise. Then shall ye know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, says Yahweh. Okay. Isaiah 53. Start at 8. Okay. He was taken from prison and from judgment, right? Just like Micaiah in 1 Kings 22, right? He was taken from prison. He was in prison in judgment, right? JC was never in prison, man. Like, he was never in prison. Like, if anything, JC was in like a holding cell. He was never in prison. It says He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. So yeah, that really would suck, right? If you're like a righteous man of the Lord and you're keeping the commandments, right? And then you're like 30 and have to go into captivity because of what the 2/3 Israelites did. And then now you're spending like more than half of your life, more than half of your adult life in slavery for doing good. Isaiah 53 is explaining that those who were punished because of the 2/3 wicked Israelites, they will be rewarded. You know, the Most High will make it up to them. This is him making it up to us. Right? Isaiah 53 verse 9. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Okay. So, neither was there any deceit in his mouth. So let's go to Isaiah 6. Isaiah 6 verse 5. Because you will have Christians saying, how can the suffering servant in Isaiah 53 be about Israel when Israel have unclean lips? And in Isaiah 53, it says there was no guile in his mouth, or no deceit in his mouth. Salahia. There was no deceit in his mouth, right? So the Christians would say, it's not about Isaiah. It's not about the prophets. It's not about the 1/3 righteous of Israel, because they have unclean lips. And this person in Isaiah 53, it was no deceit found in his mouth. Okay? So we're going to break this down so everyone can understand. And it's very simple. Isaiah chapter 6 verse 5. Then said I, which is Isaiah, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, Yahweh of hosts. Okay, so how is he really a man of unclean lips if he just admitted he's a man of unclean lips? Huh? He's a man of clean lips when it's concerning Yahweh. He's telling the truth right here, right? And his lips could have been unclean because of profanity, right? Cursing, right? But look here in the next verse. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth and said, Lo, this has touched your lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. So now he has clean lips. Okay? So being humbled, we're all like filthy rags compared to the Most High God. Okay? And all of Israel is unclean like all the nations. You would have to have an anointing from the Most High God, right? You have to be marked. You have to be touched. You have to be elected and selected. You have to be elected and selected to be the 1/3 of Israel, to be the righteous of Israel. It's the Most High that's making you the righteous 1/3 of Israel. So he is making the 1/3 of Israel clean, right? He's making the 1/3 of Israel have clean lips. And that's exactly what we see here. Okay. Now, being truthful, you could say that we are a people of unclean lips, swearing falsely, lying, using profanity, but we see that it's the Most High that takes away that sin. And with his spirit, now we have clean lips and we speak for him. Okay. But did JC have deceit in his mouth? Did he? Let's go and get that. But let's go to Isaiah 53 again. Let's go to Isaiah 53 and 9. Let's take our time with it. All right. Isaiah 53 and 9. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Okay. So let's see. Did JC commit any violence? Was JC violent? Okay, let's see. John 2, verse 13. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and JC went up to Jerusalem and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money and overthrew the tables. So here you're having it. JC being violent. He made a scourge of small cords. He made a whip. And he started to whip people out of the temple. That's violent. Try that this day. Yeah. Try doing that today. Go into a church and just start whipping people with a whip. And see how many charges is going to be brought upon you. They're going to make you a public example. Right? This is extremely violent and savage because it's being done in the holy temple. Come on, man. You could just stood up and made a speech. Why you have to be violent? Right? You made a powerful speech. You already know what's on everybody's mind. You can just tell them something that you know that's going to make them stop. But you had to be violent. But the suffering servant in Isaiah 53 done no violence. Okay. He had no deceit in his mouth. So let's go and find where JC had deceit in his mouth. Matthew chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 10. Matthew chapter 13, verse 10. Did JC have deceit in his mouth? And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So he had deceit in his mouth because he just didn't come outright plainly and told the truth and be like to these people, say, the kingdom is not for you. For whatever reason it may be, right? Just tell them the truth. The kingdom of heaven is not for you. But he had deceit in his mouth, right? Deceiving the people, right? That's deceit. When you're not upfront, making these people believe that they can have the kingdom of God, making them believe that they can have the kingdom of heaven when you know that they can't. What are you even talking to them for? So you say, right? JC says, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. So it was given to his disciples to understand his parables. So let's see. In the same chapter, just down a few verses, let's see. Did they understand his parables? Is the kingdom of heaven for them? Because the kingdom of heaven is for people who understand his parables. Okay. So let's go. Right here to 36. Matthew 13, verse 36. Then JC sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. But wait, what did JC say over here? Just in verse 11, he said, But it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And his own disciples didn't even know the mystery. You got to tell them, right? You got to tell them without a parable because they don't understand it. So the kingdom of heaven is not for them either. So break it down to the other people so that the kingdom of heaven can be for them too. Tell it to them. Duh. So it's deceit in his mouth. There you have it. Now let's go back to Isaiah 53. And we're going to start at verse 10. Isaiah 53, verse 10. Okay. Isaiah 53, verse 10. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. It pleased Yahweh to kill him. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He has put him to grief. He has put him to death. He has put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. All of that means is that he suffered. He suffered unto death. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. He suffered his whole life. Right? And now he's going to get forgiveness for his own sin. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Yeah, for his own sin. His soul. When he died, he's forgiven. Right? He shall see his seed. We all know that JC did not have a seed. He shall prolong his days. We all know that JC days was not prolonged. He died at the age of 33. And the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in his hand. We all know that JC did not prosper. He did not fulfill his purpose, because in 1 John it says that the Son of Man was manifested, right? The purpose, his purpose, he was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. But as we look around in the world, the works of the devil are still here. So he did not prosper, and he did not fulfill his purpose, right? So we understand that that's a lie, right? When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Yeah, we pay for our own sin. There you go. No one paid for our sin. We pay for our own sin. JC did not die for our sins. We pay for our own sins. Comfort ye. This is Isaiah 40 verse 1. Comfort ye, my people, says your God, Yahweh. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her welfare is accomplished. Her warfare is accomplished. That her iniquity is pardoned. For she has received of Yahweh's hand double for all her sins. So, did JC die for the sins of Israel? Or did we pay for our own sins? Well, it says it right here. Let's read it again. Isaiah 40 verse 2. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. And cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished. That her iniquity is pardoned. For she has received of Yahweh's hand double for all her sins. Okay, so it's pardoned. All right. Oh, okay. That's what the transatlantic slave trade was about. Years after JC allegedly died for the sins of the world. Okay, yeah. We pay for our own sins. And double. That's why. JC's fake. Clearly. Obviously. Okay. And then we go back to Isaiah 53. Back to Isaiah 53 and 10. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He has put him to grief when thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Right? So this person was grieved unto death. Then he died. All souls go back to the Most High, right? And the Most High received his soul and forgave him for his sins because it was sufficient. Everything that soul went through and suffered, right? It was enough for a sin offering. So that person can be forgiven for their sins because there's no man that don't sin, right? Even if you're righteous, right? You may not have gross sins. You may not have like abominable sins, but there's no man that don't sin and just completely sinless. Now let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, and it gives us a better understanding of this. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 6. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 6. As gold in the furnace has he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. Huh? As gold in the furnace has he tried them. No, he killed them. As gold in the furnace has he tried them. So we went through the fire. We were tested, tried. We suffered. And because of that suffering, we came out as gold. And because of that suffering, he received us as a burnt offering. Make his soul an offering for sin. Do you get it now? And receive them, plural, as a burnt offering. So who is the suffering servant? Plural? Yeah, the nation of Israel. And receive them as a burnt offering. Right? Isaiah 53 and 10. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Now let's go to verse 11. He shall see the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. All right. You justify them, right? We suffered for them, right? As their children, right? Rachel is crying because her children is not comforted, right? Lamentation 5:7. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have bore their iniquities. Hey, wait. What did that say over here in Isaiah 53? He shall see the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. And over here in Lamentation 5 and 7, it says, our fathers have sinned and are not. They're not here. They're dead. And we have bore their iniquities. Whoa. But if regeneration was real and all souls come back to this earth, then they would be here. They would be here, right? Bearing their own iniquities. But that's falsehood, right? But we had to suffer for the iniquities of our fathers. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have bore their iniquities. That's what it means, right? Right. And in doing so, Yahweh says that they are justified. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great. So, if JC is God, so God is going to divide himself a portion with the great? Why? When God is the greatest. That doesn't make any sense. And he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he has poured out his soul unto death. There you go. He poured out his soul. Right. His soul was afflicted. He afflicted his soul unto death. Yeah. Poured out his soul. He was working. He was enslaved. He was laboring unto death. Poured out his soul. This is not the Most High God taking a man and just slaughtering him, just instantly killing him and hanging him up on a cross. No, this is process of life. This is long suffering, a long suffering life, right? Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he has poured out his soul unto death. And he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. Right? He bore the sins of many. Because sometimes our fathers, they kind of escape the judgment by dying, like, you know what I mean? But the condition that they left the nation in it's all messed up. And now, when the judgment comes, they're dead, and we got to catch it. Even though we are not like the ones that did it, like, we still got to catch it. And that's the same things with the Gentiles. And they can't understand it. They like, how are we going to suffer for the sins of our forefathers? We are not the ones that enslaved you guys. We are not the ones that did this and did this to you guys. But they left your nation in a bad situation, right? And you're going to have to bear the sins of your fathers. That's what this is meaning. Okay? So, the intercessors that's making intercession, they are the prophets, who Isaiah 53 is really about. The righteous of Israel, the 1/3 of Israel, right? We're going to go and grab that. What it says. Let's just read it once again. Let's read Isaiah 53:12. Once again. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he has poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sins of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. Right? He was a prophet. He was a priest. He was a messenger. He was the servant of the Most High God, the righteous servant. Okay. 2 Chronicles 36, verse 15. And Yahweh God of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. Right? He made intercession. There you go. He sent his messengers to make intercession. Right? And let's get it one more time. Let's go to Jeremiah 27 and 18. Jeremiah 27, verse 18. But if they be prophets, and if the word of Yahweh be with them, let them now make intercession to Yahweh of hosts, that the vessels which are left in the house of Yahweh and in the house of the king of Judah and at Jerusalem go not to Babylon. But if they be prophets, and if the word of Yahweh be with them, let them now make intercession. So Isaiah 53 is about the prophets. They made intercession for the transgressors. Right? There you have it. It's right there. Now I hope that was edifying. I really do. Wasn't trying to offend no one. I wasn't targeting anyone. I wasn't trying to attack anyone. Only thing I was trying to attack was that false doctrine. The false doctrine that Isaiah 53 is about JC. The false doctrine that anything in the so-called Old Testament is about JC. Okay? Yeah. Now, stay stumped down for the Most High God, Yahweh. Stand tall in the law. YOZ to the saints are free. A Bible ball. Fall, Babylon, fall.